The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being with me today. It's good morning to our friends on the east coast of Australia, and across the ditch, it's good afternoon to our friends in the land of the long white cloud. Hello, Toddy. Glad you're with us, mate, and thank you for letting me know that you can hear us all right. So the wonderful joys of technology are working, which is great. I'm really excited to have you with us today. And if you look at our banner, for which I thank Terry, who's our he's an IT expert, but he should also pass himself well off for himself, at least as a graphics art expert. He does some wonderful banners for us, doesn't he? But this one's just got piles and piles of money sitting on it. Well, that may sound a bit crass to some of you, but the reality is that that's why we trade. That's what we're all about, making money. And I often hear guys getting themselves in a knot about what's the win rate percent and what have you. None of that actually matters because our business is making money and Danielcode is optimized to make money. And I'm going to show you something that I touched on at our last webinar and take you a little further with it now. And all these wonderful friends, our usual guys are all with us. Wonderful to have you here. Gabe's here with us, and Gregory Palladini, of course. And Greg actually did his first part of his tutorial on Beyond Masterclass during the week, and was having a nice holiday on the west coast of California. And I'll get that video to you in the next few hours, Greg. Mark's with us, of course. Glad to have you. Mark L. Wouldn't be a Danielcode function without Mark. He's been a very, very loyal supporter for us over the years, as you know, and been so helpful to many of you with the work he's done on letting you see what his results have been. Milton's with us. Welcome, Milton. Nathan, of course, glad to have you. Pietro, good to have you with us, my friend. He's a international traveller and man of parts. Ronald's with us. Good to have you with us, Ronald. Welcome. I don't remember seeing you before, but you're most welcome to be with us. And Toddy, of course, down in Southern California, lots more. And we just need to keep going. So let's have a look at the exciting news that I've got for you today, because I touched on the concept of Beyond Masterclass at our last webinar. And what that's doing is that I've been able to identify that every trend, decent long moves, every trend starts and finishes with one of two design patterns, and they're the only patterns that trigger those long trending moves. Now, the Danielcode is mute on quantum, which means with those signals, I can't tell you whether you're going to get 3, 4, 5 bars or maybe 30 or 40 bars. But that's the last great unknown, isn't it? Which I'm constantly working on. No doubt I'll find something in the future at some stage, God willing. But if you can identify markets where you are likely to have an extended trend period or period of trend trading, the capacity to move your stops to be a little more relaxed and but still have them, the capacity to make money is quite extraordinary. And what we do now, even without Masterclass, just using our Danielcode time and price signals, is itself extraordinary. And I posed the question to Mark L., who's an absolute stalwart. He's been with us right from the beginning. What's Greg have to say? Look forward to getting his recording our next session. Yeah, that'd be wonderful, mate. Mark L., who's a real stalwart, he's been with us forever. And as I say, we don't even have a webinar without Mark, or that's how it seems. I can remember he's missed one webinar in God knows how many years. But I said to Mark, he did one of the interviews for us on how his paper trading went using Danielcode time signals, which was pretty extraordinary. Some of you remember he elected to trade natural gas for 2016, the futures contract, and he finished up at about 1,000% on margin, which sounds ridiculous, but it's there, it's real, and everyone who's done a Danielcode tutorial with me has done the same bit of paper trading with similar results, and quite extraordinary. But I said to Mark, how can we improve Danielcode? What would you think would be an improvement? And he said, no, you can't improve it, it's perfect. It's the best trading system I've ever seen. And Mark's been kind enough to say that Danielcode time trading and John Needham have changed his life, which is wonderful. And what I'm going to show you today is just a little bit more of what Beyond Danielcode looks like and what are the new tools that you're going to see. So let's move on. We've got a lot of ground to cover, and here we are. You know that markets are rational, orderly, and sometimes predictable, and the Danielcode is a set of proprietary ratios that control time and price in all markets. Remember that creating and trading the Danielcode time signals is the best trading system I know. It's a complete trading system. It's available via a one-on-one tutorial with me, or it's now available through our TTT, which stands for Teach Yourself to Trade video series, which is available at a much reduced price. So let's have a look what we've been doing all week. Later on, I'm going to show you the chart of the US dollar index that I showed you at the last webinar. And those of you with good memories will remember me showing you a chart as the US dollar index was just coming out of its most recent low and saying that this is a medium-term trend change. In other words, the Danielcode Beyond Masterclass identified that as a trend that was likely to run quite a while. And what are the implications of that? Well, the implications are that you're going to have a strong dollar. So it's no surprise to see what's happening on these Forex charts. This is the Danielcode T.03 and blue line sell signal. Right from 2 bars after the high straight down, a pretty nice, just about $3,000 on that trade. All of these trades, you've had them during this week. Some of them, there's some information from before this week. This is the Aussie-US dollar pair in the Forex. Remember, you can use these signals for currency futures. I know a lot of you, particularly Americans, are reluctant to trade Forex because of the bankruptcy ruling in the PFG Peregrine Financial case that Forex is not a security within the meaning of the United States Bankruptcy Act. So you've switched, a lot of people have switched to trading currency futures, which is fine. You can take the signals exactly the same way. They're just exercising it in a different medium. Anyway, this is the Aussie showing weakness as the US dollar shows strength. And I'll show you another chart a little bit later today, but you can see where I put that arrow, T.03 and blue line sell signal right at the blue line of 69.44. You can see that that coincides exactly with that US dollar index chart that I showed you at our last webinar. So nice little trades there in the Aussie. This is the Kiwi, New Zealand USD. We call it the Kiwi. We call people who are New Zealanders, we call them Kiwis as well. And the Kiwi is a flightless bird, a beautiful little bird, and that's the mascot, one of the mascots for New Zealand. There is a really simple $2,300 trade straight down on that basis. This is the dollar, this is the loonie, this is called the dollar, US dollar, Canadian dollar pair called the loonie, which is the name. It's a bird as well. The name's after a bird, same thing as the Kiwi, different end of the world. And Interesting T03 buy signal, just didn't run far, but look at the FlipMe buy right here. Now, I want to make sure that all of you understand how to create and trade a FlipMe signal. It's not part of any of our packages, but I've been putting it up on the website at various times just to ensure that you're thinking about it. And as you can see, it's a pretty useful tool to be aware of, and I'll tell you a bit more about that as we go. But you can see we've had a pretty nice week in currencies. They've all been great, and here's the last of the currencies, the dollar yen, as it jumped off a T03 buy signal, and it's obliged by just going straight up, and about $3,700 in that trade. It's pretty nice. Okay, moving now to our futures trading this week. We have a T03 sell signal. We short this market. And it's given us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days straight down. Pretty nice. We had the run up as well. This is the S&P. Same thing. We had a T03 buy signal that got us launched. There was also a FlipMe in this market here, and it's absolutely fascinating, the S&P, the way it's fighting to keep going up with just very, very little buying pressure in it. But notwithstanding that, look how incredibly accurate these Danielcode targets are. These come from the Danielcode members charts, which are published twice weekly, sometimes more if necessary. And you can see that this high today, the high of this bar, was 5927.25. Where's our blue line, folks? 5927. 1 tick variance. Now that number's been on this chart for weeks and weeks. There's nothing new about that. That blue line's actually created from the matrix around the low back in, it looks like many months ago. Let's have a look. Where is it? That low came in September. September last year created the blue line today that's been sitting there on this chart all the time, and the market's found it within 1 tick. Extraordinary stuff, isn't it? Okay, nice little sweet trade there. This is gold, and gold is just amazingly bullish. It's just roaring. A lot of excitement for the gold bulls everywhere, making new highs again today. Pretty extraordinary. That came off a T03 buy signal, then a head fake and a FlipMe that got you long again for today's trade, and 2,300 just in the last couple of days. Pretty nice. This is natural gas. We're going to look at this in another way as we move along, but you can see all of these markets have just been trending magnificently. We had an $1,800 down trade, a little 1 bar counter trend, and then the FlipMe sell got you short again for another $2,200. You must understand how to use this FlipMe signal. Very important. This is the Russell. I've been saying to you for a while that the Russell's the best, at least to me, it's the clearest market of the equities. And it's just up battling with its black line at 2306, and it's given us a nice $3,500 trade so far. This is soybeans. Remember when we start to move on to Beyond Masterclass, and we're talking about trending markets, the grains and the energy markets trend really, really well. When they trend, they really trend. And you can see this trade here, we've had sort of 3 bites at it, and it's made money. Nice little market, soybeans. But you'll see when we get to talking about Masterclass, take your eyes a little bit off the equities. I mean, keep an eye on them. Of course, S&P has been trending for ages and ages and still is. But be aware that the grains in particular and energy, when they trend, they really trend, and they're ideal candidates for Beyond Masterclass. This is US T-bonds, which has been having a pretty interesting struggle through here. It's been pushing to go down, and it gave us a $2,000 trade into a $340 loser. But that set up a new 203 sell signal, which gave us about another 2,200 to the downside. Then we had this little $900 up trade straight into a T.03 sell for today, and we were short today. So this thing's given us about $6,000 from 5 trades, and it's just really interesting to see what the Fed's trying to do with this, because this market going down means interest rates go up. The way it's expressed, the actual interest rate is the inverse to how this pan plots out this particular market. So they've been pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down. A little rally now, and a pretty neutral bar today. But really interesting to keep your eye on US T-bonds, because it is a giveaway of what the Fed is actually trying to achieve. So nothing dramatic there. They've just steadied the ship a bit on the interest rates. Of course, we're still living in this environment of the election, the US presidential election, and I'm sure the Fed is more than well aware of that. So these are some of the products that we offer. We have our T.03 and T.03PLUS daily signals. These are predominantly price signals, and some of them have a small element of time, not a lot. The success trade signals, they're just a mechanical adaptation of some of the Danielcode time signals. I've been publishing our twice weekly Super 6 charts on under the tag at the website that says trade. Let's see what it says. The memory is going with age, I can tell you, folks. Stand by. There we are. It was something sort of cute that I thought up. Let's see how cute it was. Tradecraft, quite right, there it is. So I'm publishing these 6-day charts in there. If you're not interested, but if you're having a free trial, take a look at those 6-day charts. They're published twice weekly. They should not be as accurate as the daily charts, but in fact they are. Which is extraordinary how you could put that chart up, in which every bar is created of 6 trading days, and have the level of accuracy that you have. It's been absolutely quite extraordinary. So it's well worth having a look. It'll give you a different view of markets. They've been running for quite a while now, and that particular aspect of accuracy is just proving itself again and again and again. Very, very interesting. So we offer the Danielcode Masterclass tutorial, which is the one-on-one teaching session with me. And we're now offering our TTT, Teach Yourself to Trade, lessons 1 to 4, which cover what the Danielcode is, where it comes from, how it's created. The second lesson is on trading Danielcode price signals. The third session is creating and trading Danielcode time signals. And now the third session is some market tricks, some market knowledge. And lesson 4 is the creating and trading Danielcode time signals. Pretty good. And now we've got this new course, Beyond Masterclass. At the moment, it's only available to folks on a one-on-one basis with me teaching it. I'm going to try and put that into one of the Teach Yourself to Trade programs as well. I might get that done next week, so keep an eye out for that. So once you've just gone and clicked on your T.03 or T.03+ signals, you can write down or just look up which of the markets have active orders on them, and then go to this Danielcode trade program, which takes all the website signals and it remembers what they are. Remember, these markets run for different periods. The T.03 signals are valid for the day of entry and the next day. The T.03 blue line trades are valid for the day of entry and the next 2 days. Whereas the T.03+ signals, we expect them to be elected on the day that the order is posted. By elected, that means your order would be filled at the number. And you can see we give you with this trade program the exact number to enter, the exact number to put on your initial stop. It tells you whether this is a correlated trade or not. And you can then go through and type in the number of contracts you want to take in any of these markets. Click the bottom button at the bottom. It'll all whiz around. It'll come up and tell you what your risk is exactly as a percentage and in dollar terms. Now, for those of you who haven't done so, I do ask you to take 20 minutes out of your life. Go to the Danielcode website and take a look at one of these 4 videos. They're on the front page of the website, and they're extraordinary. I often am amused by some of the claims made for people who are prepared to teach you how to trade. And those claims generally all relate to how their trading goes. Show people you're a good trader and they'll believe you can teach them. I don't know that that's necessarily true. I've been to, in my search and quest for the Danielcode, I've been to most of the names that you can think of who teach trading. And I've found without exception, I'm sure they're all smart guys, but most of them are lousy teachers. And it seemed to me much more important to be able to tell you what our clients thought about the teaching. So these are the 4 videos that our clients have been kind enough to do. Video 1 is Mark L., who's with us today, and he's talking about his experiences paper trading natural gas on the Danielcode time cycles. Video 2 is a lovely couple from Boulder, Colorado. Amy, she'd never seen a financial chart before. Her partner had done a bit of trading 20 years ago or so, and that was their undertaking and experience trading the Russell and might be one of the grains, maybe wheat, while they were doing their tutorial. And the final 2 videos, 3 and video 4, they're from Justin, who's an Australian gentleman, and he is a workaholic. If you look at video 4, you'll see that he's paper traded over 100 markets, and as he said, in total, they involve more than 100 years of trading, not implying he's the age of Methuselah, but that he's done 1 year, 2 years, some of them 8 years. And if you add all those years together, you get well over 100 years of paper trading and all the results he got. And that was across all markets. He showed Forex, gold, metals, equities, commodities, grains, everything you can think of, energy, the lot. And it's really important. If you give me 20 minutes of your time, have a look at least one of those. I suggest it's really worthwhile looking at all of them. They're on the front page of the website. They're free. Please help yourself. So this Teach Yourself to Trade, the program that we've been running now for a little while at least, this is just how to get started with it. Click on the link that will tell you which are the 4 lessons and what they contain. Once you decide which one you want, email me, jneedham@thedanielcode.com with your choices. I'll invoice you via PayPal payment or a direct deposit to our US dollar account, whatever you prefer. And you'll then create your Danielcode members page by following the free trial prompts at our website, www.thedanielcode.com. And once you've paid for them, I'll load the lessons you've bought into your members page. So they're there for all time. You can review them as often as you like. And this TTT is designed to let you pay as you go and learn at your own pace, and that's been pretty helpful to a whole lot of people. The Danielcode Masterclass trading tutorial is now got two different streams of teaching. First of all is the intensive trading tutorial that's taught one-on-one by me. That covers 6 to 16 training sessions. I think Gabe's with it. He might be on lesson 16 by now, and he's doing really well. And it covers a number of sessions, as many as you need, basically. And they're all recorded and posted on our secure server for you to review. Our new Teach Yourself to Trade program is a series of video training sessions. You can purchase them separately and learn at your own pace and when it suits you. And they are at a much lower price point. In fact, as an example, the Danielcode time trading signal in TTT is about a third of the normal price on the full tutorial. So there's the link at the bottom. Go to that link and you'll be able to get started looking at the TTT, or you can go straight to the website where it's prominent. So I've got a special offer for you folks. You know I love making special offers, and you do too. If you want to buy lessons 2, 3, and 4 of the TTT, I will throw in lesson 1 as a bonus for you. Or if you want to buy lessons 2, 3, and 4, I'll add a 1-hour free go-to session with me to make sure you've understood everything. Both of these special offers give you a further saving of $6.99 on top of the massive savings that you're already making with the TTT program. And this offer applies for the first 6 folks who email me, jneedham@thedanielcode.com. As well as that, those of you who have already purchased lessons 2, 3, and 4, the offer applies to you as well. If you would like it, I'll be happy to give you lesson 1 as a thank you gift, or give you 1 hour of one-on-one teaching with me. Make sure that you understand the implications of everything you're doing. So you know about the Danielcode Masterclass. We call it the Danielcode Trading Tutorial. We now call it the Masterclass. You've seen this many times. I thank Mark L. and I thank Greg for their wonderful testimonials that they've given us. If you're serious about being a super trader, give me an email straight away to reserve your spot, jneedham@thedanielcode.com. Now, Beyond Masterclass, let's talk about this. This is extraordinary in my opinion. It's very, very involved. It's quite technical, and we'll have a better feel of it by the next webinar, but to me, it's sort of almost the end of the road. Not quite. Quantum is the thing we don't have. But Masterclass is the definitive method of creating and trading Danielcode daily time signals. Now, this new program, Masterclass, Beyond Masterclass, is designed to work with the Danielcode time trading program. It's not absolutely necessary. I'm in the camp that says free speech and don't tell people what to do. It's your money. You can do what you like with it. If you just want to jump straight into Beyond Masterclass, you can. But you will understand it much more and be a much more effective trader if you have done or are about to do the Danielcode time trading program. So this is really an adjunct to the time trading program, and it expands on that concept through 2 new indicators. Firstly, we know that all medium-term trends, those big trends that run for a while, they all start, I've said here, with one defined signal. That's true, but there are 2 ways of the internal market creates that signal. So I'm sorry if that sounds contradictory, but there is a particular pattern, and only that particular pattern, that is the precursor to all trend moves in all markets. It's an extraordinary thing. And The second thing is that we can now ideally identify when the institutional prop traders are supporting a move. These are the big traders of futures, the heavy traders of futures. And once we combine these characteristics, or even if we simply look at the methodology of defining those markets that have a high probability of giving us an extended trend, then this gives us access to all of the big trend moves if we're prepared to move our stops away a little bit and give the market a bit of room to breathe. And you'll see with some of the examples I'm going to show you in a little while, it avoids the 1 bar counter trends and the 2 bar counter trends. If you can properly identify, as we now can, when the market has a high probability of an extended move, by giving it a little more latitude with our stop loss management, we can just ride through those small counter trends, and that really makes the money add up. The big trends, if you get all of them, you're really performing at the highest possible level. So let's think about, I've put at the head of this webinar, optimizing your trading. So let's just run through some of what we do with our T.03 and T.03+ signals, which is what I showed you the results for this week. You can see how amazing they are. But all of these signals are conditional until they're elected. And elected in Danielcode jargon means that they're filled. For every order, you have an entry point and a stop loss placed for the initial stop loss order. And they're conditional until that entry point has been reached, that is, the order has been filled. And when a market elects the buy or sell signal and then hits the initial stop position of the signal, within 3 trading days after the signal has been elected, that is the FlipMe trade. And I'm going to show you a few examples of that as we go along. And I periodically update and quote and post the FlipMe trades under the FlipMe heading. There's a gold bar with FlipMe on it. That is not done every day. I just do it periodically. I'm trying to make sure you're thinking about the FlipMe trade, because it happens quite often, and it's really, really important. Particularly those markets are starting to trend. It'll keep you with the trend, and it's the most important addition to your trading arsenal. So make sure you understand FlipMe, folks, because it's a common occurrence. And think also that if the Danielcode trade signal is not elected, for example, you might have a sell and the market's going up. If it's not elected, then it's a trend continuation signal. And it's a pretty good spot to re-enter or add contract or whatever you will. Give that some thought, because it's very important. Okay, so here we are beyond Danielcode now. You can learn our new methodology identifies the 2 patterns that precede all big trend moves. As I said, we've actually said in the past it's 1 pattern, but there are 2 internal ways of creating that pattern. So we know Danielcode's mute on quantum. We don't have any idea how long the fast trend will run, but now we can identify the pattern that precedes and ends all fast trend moves. Additionally, it creates a new study that's a proxy for what institutional prop traders are doing. And this is extraordinarily interesting to look at, because it just stops you getting in for that little half kick, that little small counter trend that happens around key turning points. And it's very, very instructive, and will give you even more confidence in your trading. And what I've said about that tool is basically it's creating a go or no-go zone. Go zone or no-go zone. Safe to trade the go zone, take all the time signals. Don't take them in the no-go zone. Make sure that you are keeping your stops tight if you happen to be in a no-go zone. And this program will tell you exactly when you're in a go zone and exactly when you're in a no-go zone, which is pretty interesting. But as I say, it's designed to be used in conjunction with the Danielcode time signals. You don't have to know the Danielcode time signals first. You don't have to know anything. We are a business that believes in free will. Do what you like, folks. It's your business, your life. But if you want to make even more money, Masterclass, Beyond Masterclass, and on the Danielcode time signals, it's quite extraordinary. I'll show you a couple of examples as we go along. Here's the first one. This is UST bonds, and you can see that it's got some black diamonds on it. That's got an entry saying 0 mom. That doesn't mean hello mum. That means that the momentum, the way we measure it in Beyond Masterclass, is at 0. In other words, those are the points where you can take the trade. And as you can see, they pretty well define the highs and the lows, don't they? It's pretty clever. And the pinky color that I put on there, those are the places that are the no-go, that you're not getting a permission signal to take a trade. So you look at how many of those little counter trends you manage to avoid with this tool. It's like 5 or 6 at least that I can see just taking a quick look at it. And if you can avoid those inconsequential minor counter trends because you're trading in a market that's already given the Danielcode go signal, then you just follow your normal time trading pattern or your price trading pattern. Indeed, remember all those markets I showed you at the beginning of this webinar, they're all price signals. So you can see they do terribly, terribly well on their own. But having this ability for a go zone and a no-go zone, I think it's extraordinary, and it's all very new. I've had the general concept for many, many years, and in fact, I wrote an article about it. It's on the website. If you haven't already read it, it's called Once Upon a Time in Trading Land, and tells you a bit of the story of how this research got started many, many years ago. But even though I've had that research there, I've never actually got around to formalizing it, which is a shame because it is absolutely wonderful. So one of the questions for folks, just to refresh your mind, most of you know this, easy way to re-enter any market. If you're stopped out, your job is to be in the market. You can't make money if you're not in the market, so stop looking at it and get into it. And you must be in the market to make money, and your job is to be in the market all the time. So whenever you've been stopped out of a position, the quickest method to re-enter is put on a buy and a sell at the true high or the true low, or both, in fact, at plus or minus our 2-tick buffer, and let the market decide. I know that sounds too simple, but it's actually in the 90% plus range for accuracy. If you've been stopped out, put on a buy and a sell signal at the true high and the true low, plus or minus our buffer, and let the market decide. And that's quite extraordinary stuff, isn't it? So at our last webinar, folks, I gave you this little freebie to think about. This is the chart from then, and you can see that on the second bar up from the low, recent low, I see there's a medium trend change. The medium-term trend has changed. So that's what you had 2 weeks ago. This is what it's done today. Have a look at it, $2,900 straight up. Just extraordinary. And that's very, very worthwhile. And that was a Danielcode time buy exactly at the low, and we're still long this market. I know most of you don't trade this market, which is why I don't cover it anymore, because it's on the ICE exchange, the international exchange. It's not on the CME, where most of our futures contracts are. And you do require a separate account to trade with ICE. And I know the vast majority of you don't do that. In fact, a couple of our brokers just say straight out they won't cover ICE markets. They don't want to pay the extra fee to the ICE exchange, which is pretty short-sighted. But unfortunately, some brokers are short-sighted. It's all about show me the money, and the sub-heading of that is show me the money today, right now. So what were the implications of this US dollar index move that I told you about 2 weeks ago? Well, US dollar strength. You saw that in the Forex charts I showed you earlier. I showed you 3 different markets with Forex pairs in them, and they're all pretty obvious, weren't they? They were screaming and doing terribly, terribly well. Now, there are some commentators who are starting to see this move now as being supported by the improvement in Mr. Trump's favorability rating. I don't know about that stuff, but what I do know is we had a clear time signal right at the low, and that's all you need to know. Because by the time they get around to talking about it in the last few days, that the US dollar is stronger because there's appreciation on Wall Street that Trump's likely to win the presidential election. That's old hat. That's old news. That's happened weeks ago, guys. 2 weeks ago, at least. That's when I told you about it. It was on its 3rd or 4th bar of the rally by then. So anything you read in the papers or on television you see or hear on the radio is old news. The markets are the real news, and they will know before anyone does. Okay. So how about we add Beyond Masterclass to identify our high probability long trend moves? This happens to be the Aussie US dollar pair. And we know why we had this big rally up on a time buy signal. And we know why we've had this nice little push back down on a time sell signal. But if you have a look at this in detail, where the time buy signal is, that was the last point that had 0 mom. In other words, the next day showed us that our proxy for institutional prop traders were triggered. That's why you've got the pink line on it. And there's no capacity then following that signal, the new Danielcode Masterclass signal, there's no capacity in there to get short until the inside bar, 2 bars after the high on September the 30th. Why does September the 30th ring a bell? Well, remember those US dollar charts we've been looking at? September the 30th was the low on the US dollar chart that gave us the buy signal in the US dollar index. In the same way, there's a time sell signal exactly at the high, and that's a normal time sell signal. Always take your time, follow your time signals, and you get short there. If not, you get short after the inside bar. And typically, the institutional prop traders, sometimes they trade at the absolute high and absolute low. More often, they'll trade a day or 2 after the absolute high or absolute low. But you can trade at the true high, true low on your Danielcode time and price signals, but it helps if you can be aware of when the market's given a signal that this is likely to be a sustained trade. You avoid all of those 1, 2, 3 bar nasty little counter trends, and that just adds a whole lot of dollars to your result. This is pretty simple for you to look at, folks. This is the S&P. And this is from the low there. We're showing was back in early October, I guess. I don't know if I can find a 6-day chart conveniently. I guess it doesn't really matter when it happened. You know it did happen. And just let me find this thing. 1, 2, 3, here it is. Yeah, that low was September the 6th. 6th of September was the low. 2 bars later, after the inside bar, you got the Danielcode time buy signal. The very next bar after that, you got the institutional prop traders buying into this market. And look what's happened. You don't get a masterclass, beyond masterclass sell signal at all. Until now, you still don't have one. We've had a couple of little 1-bar counter trends. We've had a 1, 2, 3, 4-bar counter trend, followed by another 1, 2, little ABC, just to encourage Elliott Wave people that there may be hope at the end of their random trail of disaster, but there won't be. Just have a look using your the Beyond Masterclass, just simply looking at, we know that's one of the patterns that gives you the probability of an enhanced trend. And we know also that following the institutional prop traders stops us getting in and out of the market too soon. The price we pay for that is we get into the market a bar or two later. But you don't have to wait for them. You can still trade your normal Danielcode signals, which will have you before the prop sig traders most of the time, and never after. Never ever after. Most of the time we're front running them. But just having that knowledge of this particular tool that shows you when you can get an enhanced trend would give you the comfort to sit through. It wouldn't matter if you didn't. It wouldn't matter if you were stopped out, as long as you knew that there was an uptrend in force and you knew where the failure point for the sell-off of the correction was. And of course, this is where the sell-off started on this bar, 2 ticks above that high. Put a line on it. You're going to get long again here. It works back into its long side of the trade. So that's Beyond Masterclass, folks. At the moment, it's fairly expensive, and I can't tell you when I will have a cheaper version under the TCT program, but sometime or other we'll get it into that program for you as well. My aim always is to make sure you have the very best of tools, so you can be the very best of traders. Okay, if you haven't already, folks, please go to the Danielcode website, have your free trial. Just follow the links. There's just some prompts on it. If you already had a free trial, the machine will remember and not want to give you another free trial. In that case, contact Terry at support@thedanielcode.com, and he will sort that out. And finally for today, this is our disclaimer, folks. I do recommend that you read it carefully and pay attention to it. The reality is that most people lose their trading bank in the first 30 days of trading if they have not been trained. So we're all traders. You can class them as one or two ways. They're either trained or untrained. If they're untrained, you're going to lose your money. It's really easy to lose a lot of money trading futures and Forex. I sincerely recommend that you make sure you have become a trained person, preferably with me, but there are other ways of learning, I guess. And once you are trained, it is just as easy to make a whole lot of money trading, which is a great thing. So that's us for today, my folks. I thank you for being with me. I hope you have a pleasant weekend. Greg from Colorado/Texas, etc., has just joined us. I hope you didn't miss too much, my friend. Akshay has just joined us during the tutorial, and a number of others as well. So if you've missed any of this, folks, Terry will be posting the video to YouTube in the next day or so, often before tomorrow, I hope. All right, that's it, folks. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you for being with me. I hope you found this interesting. Any questions, please email me. My final word is, if you have an email account at Yahoo, please try to make sure that you give me an alternate email address. We've had endless problem with these Yahoo accounts since the change was made earlier this year. And even this week, I've got an email from Eric Miller, who I know. He's been a Danielcode client on and off over the years, saying, are you guys still in business, because I've written you 2 emails and you haven't replied? Well, of course I have replied. I reply not always on the same day, but usually. And my replies have just been getting bounced back as undeliverable due to this problem that's transpired with Yahoo. So if you do have an @Yahoo account, give me another email address so I can contact you. Life is always much better if we can keep contact. And that's us for today, folks. It was great having your company. Thank you for being with us. And I'll look forward to talking to you again shortly. Bye-bye for now.